The night's top of the bill. The Dark Destroyer takes on the Terminator. And first we see the challenger from Jamaica, Anthony Logan, the Terminator. His record, well, it seems to vary depending who you speak to. But no doubt about it, he packs a punch. It looks as if he's had 16 victories, 1 draw, 1 defeat. 10 of these victories, knockouts, 9 of them in the first round. That's Anthony Logan. Challenging for the Commonwealth title, held by Nigel Benn of Ilford. Former American Continental champion, recently lost that to David Noel. So no doubt about this young man, Anthony Logan, a fine challenger for London's Nigel Benn. Here comes the man himself. You can tell just by the reaction of this crowd, quite probably one of the most popular boxers, well, certainly one of the most exciting boxers in the country at the moment. Nigel Benn from Ilford, the Dark Destroyer. 18 professional fights, 18 victories, 18 KOs. The man's never been taken beyond the 7th round. 9 of his fights have been finished in the first round. Nigel Benn, the reigning Commonwealth champion. Well, there can be absolutely no doubt that this is one of the most eagerly awaited returns to the ring of any fighter this season. He's had his problems with management, currently involved in a legal wrangle with previous manager Frank Warren. While Nigel Benn looks after himself now, his commercial manager Ambrose Mendy looking after the business side of things, while Nigel concentrates on his boxing career. Certainly no doubt that Nigel Benn has been looking forward to this fight. Hasn't enjoyed being inactive for the 6 months whatsoever. And this crowd, well, they just can't wait till the preliminaries are over and the fight's underway, and all I suggest is don't blink, because these two men, well, one of them's bound to go down. Indeed, Anthony Logan, he's gone the distance twice. He had to go the distance to win the Continental title of America. And then in his first defense, which indeed was his last fight, when he was beaten by David Noel in Trinidad, that also went the distance. He lost that one on points. Of course, Anthony Logan taking the Continental title from the Argentinian Abildano. Nigel Benn had difficulty making the weight earlier today, weighed in about 1.25 pounds overweight, but he came back 40 minutes later, making the weight no problem at all. A lot of criticism levelled at Nigel Benn, saying that he hasn't really fought anybody. In fact, Nigel himself refers to a number of the boxers that he's come up against as Mexican road sweepers. And indeed, he doesn't want to take any boxers of that caliber on in the future. And Anthony Logan definitely is a good challenge for the Ilford boxer this evening, and he definitely has to start stepping up in class if he wants that all-important shot at the world title. Indeed, Anthony Logan had 106 amateur fights, winning 100 of them before turning professional, and in his professional career, which has spanned approximately 2 years, he's only been defeated once. David Noel, a fine middleweight prospect himself, and in fact he has had 1 draw. Well, Nigel Benn has a 100% record, one of the most exciting prospects in Britain at present, often referred to as the Mike Tyson of the middleweight division. And the way he finishes off his opponents, it's not the least bit surprising that a comparison has been drawn between the Dark Destroyer and Tyson himself.
Your referee for this contest is Mr. Larry. In charge is Sir David Hopkins, and your timekeeper, Mr. Tom Powell.
So now we go through the final preliminaries. The first round about to get underway, and as I've said already, don't take your eyes off the screen. Anything can happen with these two, the Terminator, the Dark Destroyer. And immediately it's Nigel Benn on the attack, the crowd urging him on. Nigel Benn not one to hang around, and already Anthony Logan's into trouble, pinned against the ropes as Benn takes the fight straight to the Jamaican. He's trying to battle back. There certainly isn't any love lost between these two. There was a heated press conference earlier in the week where Logan described Benn as a load of garbage. But then I suppose Anthony Logan hasn't had the chance to see all of Nigel's 18 fights where he's looked anything but that. So Logan hanging on at present. He's trying to calm things down a little bit. He must have expected Nigel to come straight at him, because that is the way that Benn has always fought, a particularly unorthodox fighter. Doesn't seem to give defense any kind of consideration whatsoever, always on the attack, putting his opponent under pressure. Caught in there with a good right. Logan pinned up against the ropes in the opening minutes of this first round. Really, the tension in the Albert Hall here at the moment is fantastic. The crowd anticipating an electrifying bout here between Benn and Anthony Logan. And it's Benn on the attack once again. 9 of his fights finished in the first round, trying to make it 10. Currently, these two ranked in the top 20 in the middleweight rankings, although the defeat by David Noel might affect Logan's ranking, but no doubt about Nigel Benn creeping up the rankings. And surely it's only a matter of time before he makes the top 10 and then in contention for a world title. Anthony Logan a little wary here in this opening round. It's hardly surprising, but he's going to have to be very, very careful. If he gets caught by one of Nigel Benn's bombs, he's out for the count. Well, Benn there swung a right, slipped. No concern whatsoever. The referee gets the bout underway once again. And Benn swinging widely once again. He's going to have to watch it as well, because there's no doubt that Logan has a punch. But Benn now gets the grips, takes this fight by the scruff of the neck, has Logan pinned up against the ropes once again. Lefts and rights just raining in on Logan. He's desperately trying to fight his way out of it, no doubt about it. He's a game boxer. But Benn really is applying the pressure in this opening round. 1 or 2 wild punches there a couple of moments ago, and really Benn is going to have to watch out, because his defense was very ragged in that opening round, and although Logan didn't take advantage of that, there will come a time when Logan will be able to do just that.
Well, we can take a welcome break here after that sensational first round and just have a look at the incident which saw Nigel Benn end up on the canvas. Initially I felt that he'd slipped, but looking back at the replay here, if he slipped over anything, it was a right cross from Anthony Logan. So that was quite a shock for Nigel Benn followers. They're not used to seeing their man down on the canvas. He was up a little quickly there, showing his inexperience, but fortunately for Benn and his camp, he managed to hold on to the end of the round and indeed took the fight once again to the Jamaican. We've got a close-up here now of some exchanges in the corner, and as we can see, Logan is finding his way through Benn's defence, or what is thinly disguised as a defence, but always Benn counter-attacks. Obviously Nigel Benn of the school that the best form of defence is attack, but he's going to have to watch it, because Logan, he's a fine fighter and he's catching Benn on 1 or 2 occasions. As you can see here, it's a little untidy in that corner. Benn falling on his opponent. A lot of his punches going over the top of the Jamaican's head, and Logan, well, he's trying to fight his way out of that to get back towards the centre of the ring. No doubt that one or the other of these 2 fighters is going to land a big bomb.
So there we have Nigel Benn taking a welcome breather after a particularly exciting first round, and really nobody can be disappointed here in the Albert Hall. The fight, everything that we expected it to be. A very exciting opening 3 minutes. Nigel Benn, well, definitely has taken that round, but once or twice looked a little wild, and he's going to have to control himself to a certain degree, because this Logan, well, he's no mug. He's been around, only been defeated once by, as I've mentioned earlier, David Noel, a fine middleweight himself. But no doubt the whole excitement, the whole atmosphere in this ring, in this arena, maybe Nigel Benn getting a little carried away, but into round 2. And this fair crowd at the Albert Hall really loving every minute of this bout, as Benn immediately on the attack once again. Really, this man doesn't know any other way to fight. Logan hanging on as Benn tries to find a way through, and he certainly isn't once or twice, but as yet he really hasn't troubled Logan, although the Jamaican has been on the defensive for 2 rounds, although that left there caught him on the side of the head. But he fights back, he fights his way into trouble, and he catches Benn with a right and a left. Benn's in a great deal of trouble, pinned in the corner. He's going to have to get out of that and defend. Benn's not renowned for his defence, he's in trouble here. This could be a real sensation, a real turn-up at the Albert Hall. Anthony Logan backs Benn up, Benn slips once again, he fights back, and he catches him with a fantastic left. Well, Nigel Benn, you just can't count this man out. Logan's out, the fight's all over. It finished in the 2nd round. Benn was backed up in his corner and in all sorts of trouble. He fights his way out, and Logan ends up flat on his back after a superb left. Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, makes it 19 fights, 19 victories, 19 knockouts. Nigel Benn, mobbed by his supporters, the crowd went wild. Well, there's no doubt that a lot of people have criticised Nigel Benn's style, very unorthodox, his defence non-existent, and he was definitely caught once or twice by the Jamaican Anthony Logan, and was indeed in a great deal of trouble. But like the true class fighter that this Nigel Benn is, he fought his way out, and what a left hand.
Well, a truly sensational end to that bout there in the 2nd round, but there can be no doubt that Nigel Benn was in a great deal of trouble in the corner here. He'd obviously come into this fight intending to fight to Logan as opposed to box him, and Logan caught him once or twice. He was super left there, left cross, put Benn in all sorts of trouble. And the most worrying aspect of this is Benn fails to fight back. Logan just continues to apply the pressure, and there can be no doubt that the referee, as we see there in your shot, must have been thinking about jumping in here, as Nigel Benn fails to fight back, fails to defend himself. Indeed, from the moment that he's put under pressure in the corner here, he's failed to land one punch on Logan, as Logan continues to rein them in round the head of Nigel Benn. Certainly his fans must have been very worried at this stage of the fight. And when Logan looks at this replay himself, he's going to be very disappointed that he didn't manage to finish the Ilford boxer off in that flurry of punches in the corner. As we see, Nigel Benn still failed to land a punch on the Jamaican, in all sorts of trouble, really was staring defeat here. But now he manages to gather his thoughts. That right wild almost swings him off balance, manages to stay on his feet, takes one look at the Jamaican and lands a fantastic left, which saves the fight for Nigel Benn and maintains his undefeated record. Well, we can take a look at that super left from Nigel Benn from the other side of the ring. As we see there, he almost swung himself right off his feet with that right, which went over the top of the Jamaican. He looks up, bang, the Jamaican's finished. Nigel Benn, 18th knockout. Well, they might be giving each other a bit of a hug there, but there was no love lost between these two. Nigel Benn objected to being described as a load of garbage, as you might expect, and quite frankly, it takes a brave man to describe Nigel Benn as a load of garbage, as we saw tonight.
He answered that jibe with a superb left. There's no way you can underestimate the value of this victory. Logan was no mug. He's fought one or two good fighters, the Continental Champion of America, and Nigel Benn, well, he well and truly finished him off in the second round. Ilford's Nigel Benn, one-time kickboxer, now gunning to be world champion.
So, you know, I thought, like, you know, being a fellow boxer, he, you know, never showed no respect for other boxers that train 6 days a week or whatever. And I wasn't really interested in God. I just wanted to go out there and fight him. I paid the price. I got knocked down.
So
I mean,
is that something you're going to learn from this fight? Is that you're going to change your style at all?
no, I keep my style. I mean, I keep my style the same way. You know, it's just the attitude. He caught me with a blinding shot, but that's where you got to get off the ground and say, right, mate, now you cop hold of some of this. I mean, I wasn't really concentrating on defence. You know, I just wanted to see how tough he was.
Well, it lasted 4 minutes, 15 seconds, and once again, the criticism that's going to be levelled at you is who you're fighting. I mean, what do you think? What's your answer to that? I mean, this guy was definitely a bit useful. His record suggested that.
He was tough, but there again, you know, a lot of people say, well, yeah, you got put in his ass, you can't take a shot. But the thing is, that's where you got to say, right, come on, mate, let's mix it, let's see how really tough you are. And I wanted to mix it. I wasn't interested in guard or anything. I just wanted to see how tough he was. Because, I mean, first of all, to say I'm garbage, that upset me. To, you know, talk about other boxers, fellow boxers, as garbage. I don't talk about people like that. And I never really had no respect for the guy. I mean, I never came to box. You know, I wanted to bomb him out. You know, so I paid the price, but that, like I said before, you've got to be able to get off the ground and say, right, Nigel, grit your teeth, let's go, mate.
Well, it was a fabulous reception by the crowd. You thank them afterwards?
Oh, unbelievable. But you see, there's a lot of respect to the public that turned up to see me fight. And so I had to give them everything and explode. I don't care if it was 1.5 rounds or what, but you have to give the public what they want to see.
Is that going to make you think twice about the suggested move to Miami?
No, not at all. I'm still thinking about that, seriously. Because I ain't going to learn anything over here.
Well, Nigel, I mean, as we mentioned a number of times, you were in trouble, and you're in one of the toughest divisions in boxing.
Yeah.
You're going to be world champion?
Yes, definitely. Bring the title back to England.